Hi guys, my name is Maggie. I'm originally from Donegal, but I'm living in the north of Ireland now, in Uri. Uh, Basically, I just want to make this video because whenever I was coming out, I found YouTube videos very helpful. But one thing I noticed was in a lot of coming out stories, I seen like people commenting, going, "Oh, I related so much to this story and stuff." Whereas I find my stories slightly different. I wasn't really relating to some of the YouTube videos that I researched, so I thought maybe someone might relate to mine. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to tell you the story. So hopefully I'll try not to make this a long one. Hopefully you'll stay tuned. So basically, with my story, the biggest part of my story was coming out to myself. Um, I genuinely, I know people say like how, but I genuinely don't think, or maybe I hid it from myself for so long, but I literally didn't admit it to myself until I was 22. The first night I said it to somebody, I was very highly intoxicated. It was uni night out. It was one of the best nights I've ever had, but got really, really drunk. Was in the smoking area with one of my friends, and then literally just blurted it out. And she was like, "What? What? No, you're not." And I was like, "No, no, no, I'm not." And then we went and we took a shot, and I was like, "No, really, I think I am. Like, I really, really think I am." We spoke about it for about 10, 20 minutes, and then I started to freak out, and I was like, "No, no, I'm not. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I'm just drunk. I'm just drunk." So it was kind of just left at that. The next day, she wrote me a message on Facebook and was like, "Look, are you okay? I kind of have a vague memory of stuff that we were talking about last night. Like, if you need to talk, you know that I'm here. I'm so okay with this. If this is what you think that you are." And I was like, "Oh no, like, can't really remember anything from last night. Just talking rubbish when I was drunk, blah blah." So the next day I was freaking out. I was like, "Why did I say that? Like, I'm definitely not. Like, I don't know why them words leave my mouth. Like, you can't use drink as your excuse." I was like, "But I'm definitely not." So lots more nights happened. Nothing more was said. Everything was good. Was kissing boys most nights out. Was Everything was fantastic. Then another night I ended up getting quite drunk again. Was sitting and again smoking area with one of my friends. We were just talking. She was saying about her friend and how he found it so hard to come out, and that he found the hardest bit was admitting him to himself because he wasn't at all at camp at the time. He was so into, like, nobody knew, so he could have just kept it to himself so easily, but then he just came out, and we were just talking about that story for so long, and then the I said, "Look, I think I'm gay." And again, couldn't believe the words that just left my mouth. I kind of, my eyes just went wide. I was like, "No, no, I'm definitely not." "What? No, I didn't say that." And she was like, "No, seriously, tell me, like, are you?" And I was like, "No, no, no, no." And then she was like, "Come on, just, are you?" And she was like, "Cause there's no signs." And I was like, "Oh, look, I don't know. Like, I've been having these feelings." And I ended up just having a bit of a talk to her. Nothing more was said. She was just kind of, she was a friend of a friend, even, like, she wasn't like a best friend or nothing. So I found it easier to talk to her about it. That night I went home and I kind of had a bit of a cry, and I kind of thought, "Look, you've always known there's something different about you. Maybe this is a road that you need to look down." So I had these two, like, friends who were friends of friends who were a lesbian couple. I absolutely adored them. Every night I was drinking with them, always had the best night, but there was always something. I always had so much questions for them. I was always very curious about them. Never even thought twice, like, maybe there's a reason for that. But yeah, anyway, ended up mailing one of them saying, "Look, I don't know who else talked about this. I really think that I'm gay." I wrote this big long message. Fine, went to bed. It was like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Went to bed. Woke up the next day, completely kind of had forgotten about some of this, and then kind of, "Oh my god, what did I do?" And I got a message from her on Facebook going, "Oh my god, I'm so glad that you've told me. Me and my girlfriend have kind of always thought that you were. We're so delighted, blah blah. Come meet us for coffee." So I was like, "No, no, I'm not. I'm not." So I met them out one night, and both of them had a really big talk with me, and they just said, "Look, the most important thing is admitting it to yourself, like." And they said, "Look, this is just the first kind of baby step that you've taken, saying it to people, a few people who are not that good of friends of yours." They were like, "Maybe you need more time, but now's the time to start exploring yourself." So I started like looking up videos on YouTube, googling things, and then it kind of dawned on me, look, whenever I had serious boyfriends and everything, and I was like, maybe there's a reason that it never felt okay, it never felt right, it never felt safe. Sorry, this is kind of really weird. Yeah, so then I thought there's probably a reason for that. So then I really started having to think about to myself, but then I kept saying, no, no, I'm definitely not, like, no. And my whole life, like, I've always had like this massive stature with gay people. I've always like loved them. I had like two of my best friends are gay, like, and absolutely loved them to bits, and was always even in school standing up for their rights and stuff. And at the time, it never even occurred to me, like, whoa, wait a second, you're standing up for something that you really believe in. Maybe it's for you as well, but no, I literally was so in denial, and that's what really struck me, was that I was so gay rights and so woo, like I have to be on their side and everything, and it just really bothered me that it had never occurred to me that whoa, like, you're gay. So I just kept thinking, no, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just getting too on board with this. But more nights out, more drunkenness, more people I told, started telling all my friends one by one, waiting for their reaction. Most of the time I was so shocked at how good their reaction was. Sometimes the reaction wasn't as good, but you can't. I'm very blessed. I've got a lot of friends. I was very lucky in that way. Some of them have changed. The dynamic of our friendship has definitely changed, and it is because of that. Some of them really took it kind of hard, but at the same time really supported me, and have since then, like, they've just really tried their best to kind of understand it. It's just because they never, were bothered about it before, because like they're just so loving to me. Like, it's so nice that they were there for me, and they've asked me so many questions, and it's fantastic. So I'm so lucky I've got really supportive friends. The ones who aren't so supportive, sometimes I put it down to the fact that they're ill educated about homosexuality, and other times I just put it down to they're just bad people, they're bad friends, so they're kind of out of my life now. But yeah, so finally had come to terms with it, had told loads of my friends, had literally fantastic, graduated from uni, moved to Newry in Northern Ireland, thought this is a great start, I'm away from home now, I can kind of see what happens up here. Everything had got easier. Every person you tell, it gets so much easier. And then 6 months down the line up here, things started getting very hard again. Things weren't happening, progressing for me the way that I wanted them to. And, well, it kind of sucks. Like, I started to, instead of being okay with myself, I started getting real Debbie Downer, like starting really to get depressed about how things weren't progressing. Started to kind of get with guys again, thinking maybe I'm not gay. I told all the people that I work with, which was great. They were so supportive, like so supportive. In fact, one of the girls I work with, like in the last year, she's made me so okay with who I am. But yeah, seriously got depressed about it. Then one random night, went out with my housemates. We went to a nightclub, a local nightclub, and it was the complete straight nightclub. There was no way there was anybody gay in it. And we all made a pact, look, tonight's just going to be housemate night, it's going to be a great night, we're going to have a laugh, no one's going to hook up, blah blah. So we all kind of got quite drunk, went our separate ways, was talking to these random girls. One girl in particular, it struck my eye. We were chatting and talking for ages, and then she was like, oh, have you got any alcohol in your house? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh sure, we'll just go back to your house, have a few drinks. Did. Ended up kissing, ended up having probably one of the best nights of my life. Then I realised, from that moment on, look, there's no going back. I'm definitely not straight. Like, nothing. It was kind of like weird fireworks, woo moment. At that moment, I realised, no, there's no going back. I can't slip up again. I want to be with a girl. The moment was unfortunately short-lived. Turned out that she had a boyfriend, and very promptly was freaking out, blaming me for everything, rushing out of the house. Whatever, she left, sent me a big message saying like I was drunk, you took advantage. It was pretty awful, like. But since then I've kind of just been floating about, talking to a few nice girls. It's been nice, like, it's kind of there's been moments for sure, but there's also been pretty bad moments where I'm not sure where this is going and what I'm gonna do next. Newry's a pretty small town as well, so maybe it's just here, maybe somewhere else will be better for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I came out to my friends. As for my family, I haven't actually told. I've told my sister, who's got a lot of gay friends, so I thought that she'd be cool with it. Turns out not so much. She had a few things to say and kind of put me off telling my family. I'm from the country, so my family are really, really old school when it comes to stuff like this. They make comments about, like, one of my friends, he's gay. They make comments about him all the time. It's really hurtful. So I kind of made the decision that I wasn't going to tell them. But now, as I'm growing up or growing a bit, I'm starting to think I'm going to have to tell them, because if I do eventually get a girlfriend at some stage, it can't progress the way I want it to if they don't know. So eventually I'm going to have to tell them, but the fact that one person in my family who I thought was going to be so supportive about it wasn't as supportive as I thought kind of was like, right, maybe I don't need to tell them quite yet. But yeah, that's kind of just a very short version. There's lots more stuff that happened in between. A lot more friends that said statements that literally made everything so okay. A lot more moments, but there was also a lot of bad stuff that happened in the last like year or two. So I kind of came out when I was 20, end of 21, 22. I'm 23 now, so it's a different kind of a coming out story than a lot of people tell, because a lot of people tell their story after they've got girlfriends or more has happened. Unfortunately, my story isn't quite like that, but hopefully some people will relate to it. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm hoping to make another video where more gets explained. I'm hoping to show this video to a few of my friends who don't really know the whole story but have got questions, so they can kind of see. But yeah, thanks for watching, for anybody who actually did watch it the whole way through. I know it's a bit longer than I wanted it to be, and anybody who doesn't understand me, I've got a very strong Irish accent, so, you know, feel free to ask questions anyway. So, thank you guys.